Can you feel it? That gentle whisper in the air, that soft nudge that says winter is finally tiptoeing away? It's spring. Isn't it lovely? And with all this new life blooming around us, doesn't it just make you want to create something fresh and beautiful yourself? I've been feeling that urge too. That little creative flutter in my heart, and what better way to welcome this season of renewal than by stitching something special with our own two hands. Today we're going to embark on a little sewing adventure together, a calm and joyful journey to create a quilted bag that feels just like a breath of fresh spring air. Imagine carrying a bag bursting with the colors and textures of the season, soft pastels, maybe some cheerful florals, all stitched together with a love and intention. It's not just a bag, is it? It's a little piece of spring you can take with you wherever you go. So grab your favorite fabrics, settle into your cozy sewing space, and let's create something beautiful together. No pressure, just the gentle rhythm of the needle and thread, and the quiet satisfaction of bringing something lovely into the world. Are you ready to begin this spring sewing journey with me? Isn't this fabric just lovely? It really captures that soft, fresh feeling of spring, don't you think? Actually, this piece is extra special to me. It belonged to my grandmother, or a few of these pieces belonged to my grandmother. And she recently passed away last year, so it's being able to create something beautiful with it feels like I'm carrying a little piece of her with me. It feels like it makes this project even more meaningful to me. And as I was making this bag, I'm just thinking about how perfect this little bag will be right through summer too. Imagine it filled with your essentials for a picnic in the park or a stroll along the beach. And honestly, the process of creating something like this is just so enjoyable, isn't it? There's something so satisfying about taking individual pieces and watching them come together to form something beautiful and functional. I also think it's funny we spend so much of our money on things that are mass produced in factories, and while those things can be nice, there's just no comparison to the feeling you get from using something you've made yourself. It's completely unique, made with your own two hands and a whole lot of love, plus you know exactly where it came from and the care that went into it. The best part about this project, I actually made it using scraps left over from my last sewing project. I just love that nothing goes to waste. It feels so good to be resourceful and to turn something that might have been discarded into something beautiful and useful. I also want to kind of tease of, I'm creating a lot of things with these scraps and stuff, and I'm really excited about my next video. I'm going to be attempting to make a bucket hat, which I've already attempted. My first try was a little generous in size for my daughter. But I'm working on another one right now, and fingers crossed this one will be just right. So if you enjoy these little making adventures, stay tuned for that. I wanted to add, down below I will put in the description of the video that I used to kind of get an idea of how to make this bag. And the video was super easy to follow, and I enjoyed it very much. Now, the piecing of the fabrics, there's no rhyme or reason. I am doing like 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch pieces. Some of them, it was like 3.5 inch. And the more you kind of cut them down and piece them together in different areas, it creates like these small patchwork pieces, and I am just like putting them together just to make something, to make a sizable piece to cut out the shape that I want. So even if I had two pieces together, if they were looking crooked or what, I just put them together because it adds to the patchwork and it adds to the kitschiness of it. And so I just kept it the way it was. I didn't try to fix anything. If the pieces landed together like that, I just left them exactly how I wanted them. So I got the shape from this because I was like, that's the exact shape that I want. Now there was a square part the square part to one side of it, and I thought I rounded it out enough, but as you can see, or if you didn't notice, one part of the bag pokes out more than the other, and I think it was because of that part. And also, I don't know why I made a bigger piece. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. Just make both pieces the same front and back, and that zipper adds a little bit of space, but it's fine. But you do want the front and the back to match. And then this is me cutting out the batting, and I do the same thing for the backing or the lining. I just flatten it out and I cut out those same pieces just all around, all to match up. And then when I'm sewing this whole thing, I am sewing the batting and the fabric separate from the lining. And I'll show y'all that once I get to it. But here I am just still cutting those pieces out. Oh, and then these are the side pieces for the zipper. You want these to be facing right side in with the zipper, or the top part of the zipper, because that will be the top part of the bag. And then we're going to flip it over and then do the same thing with some lining. I did not add any batting to this because it's going to be a small portion of the bag, and I don't want it to be too bulky around this area. And there we go. That way when it's sewn, as you can see, it's flipped right side out like this. And I do the same right sides to the zipper, but on the lining I'm doing the right side to the back, or right side facing the back of the zipper. And I do a more in-depth video, or I did a live earlier this week, so you will see that it will be more in-depth during the live. So if y'all want to go and watch that, it is saved on my live portion of my channel, and you can go in a deeper dive to that. And then I do put some tissue paper over the batting because it keeps your stitches clean and it doesn't get caught up in your machine. But once it's sewn, it looks like this, and the zipper is seamless, and see where the lining covers up all of that, so that way you don't have any raw edges sticking out inside of the bag or behind the zipper. And then we're going to do the same thing to the bottom of the bag. Now, I've been having a whole lot of time on my hands. My kids have been acting so well. You can hear them in the background right now. I'm, trying not to make them be too quiet, but it's kids. They're not going to be quiet for too long. And I really wanted to make this voiceover, and I didn't want to wait till tonight. I wanted to go ahead and post this video because I'm so excited with all the videos that I've been making and all the projects that I've been making, and just getting into a nice little groove. I don't know what's been going on. My kids have been angels here lately, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm just thankful because I've been getting a lot done, and I'm so excited. We're going to the beach later on in the year, or in August, later on in summer, and I'm excited. I have this new inspiration that I am just like, I don't know if y'all can tell in my videos, they're a lot more lively and a lot more colorful, and I'm just trying really hard to really share with y'all like how excited I am to make these projects. And I love to show y'all too, even though my projects aren't the cleanest or the most professional, I'm still trying my best and trying to show y'all my sewing journey. This bag is far from perfect, but it's the little imperfections that I like, that I know that I made it and I get the satisfaction from making it. Again, we spend so much time buying things factory made, and we don't ever sit back, or nobody really makes anything anymore. And I like making things, especially if it's something that I really, really want, and I like the satisfaction it gives me to make my own stuff. So I encourage everybody to start doing that. If you want it, the whole 7 rings from Ariana Grande, I want it, I like it, I buy it, or whatever. I want it, I like it, I make it. So that's my motto. If you want it, just make it. It's so easy to make it, and even though to me, my bag looks like it's handmade, like I can tell that I made it. A lot of people don't know that, and it's also a quilted bag. So the one great thing about a quilted bag is that it's going to kind of have an odd shape to it. Even if you have it the most perfect shaped bag, if you put something heavy in it, you're going to see it in the bag. It's a quilted bag. It's not very structured or anything like that. It's softer than most bags. The belt bag that I have is actually very firm and keeps its shape, but this bag is going to be very, it's going to be very flimsy and loose. So whatever I put in the bag, you're going to see that it's in there. So, but it's still a nice and spacious bag. I could put a wallet in it. I could put my phone in it. And I'm also very excited to say that the 2 rings that I just showed you, they were just curtain rings. They held a curtain, and I took those off and I decided to use those in my bag, and I'm glad I did. It was another like recyclable thing that I could do. I made a little piece for them to be sewn to the bag. I wish I would have put them higher though. And same with the straps, but the strap I was kind of mad because I put it on the wrong way, or in the wrong way that I wanted it to, but I'm glad I did it this way, because the way that it turned out was, when I have the extra tail on the bag, the extra tail you see is, you could see the top part of the quilting instead of the bottom. But as you can tell here, the machine missed a few parts, and when the machine misses a whole bunch of spaces and I don't want to sit there and do a zigzag stitch, I go in and I do a ladder stitch with some thread and needle. This is me inside. I actually pinned my phone to my shirt so that y'all could see me do it, and it took some time. It took about 2 hours for me to hand sew everything because there were so many gaps. I might as well should have just done this part by hand in the first place, but nevertheless, it turned out great. It's the journey of the project. So I did a ladder stitch. You just kind of, I want to say like a 1 centimeter, you go 1 centimeter up one side and you come out and do another centimeter stitch on the other side, and you're just doing it side by side, hence the ladder stitch. There's a whole bunch of videos on YouTube that you could follow. I will be doing like a short form video of me showing a closer look and slower of the same footage, but like it's slower and I think you can see it pretty well. So this is just me speeding it up for the video to show y'all for the tutorial. But this was very relaxing. Sometimes I forget how fun hand sewing is, because the machine does it all for us, but hand sewing, you're really intentionally making the stitches yourself, and you're really seeing how the stitches are working and how it's piecing together the fabric, and I love that. I love how I could just do it myself and do it right the first time and not have to do it over and over and over by a machine and having to rip the seams and put it back together. Again, I feel like I should have just done it this way in the first place. But also, I was thinking I should have done both sides quilted and not do the bias tape, and I should have like made a strip of fabric and then added the batting in the middle. Hold on, let me get my child real quick. But I wish I would have taken 2 pieces of fabric of the quilted and not the lining, so that both sides would be colorful, and then take the bias tape out completely and just put batting in the middle. That way it's still like a soft quilted feeling. And I put it on this way, and I'm glad I did, because either way, if I would have done the quilted front and back, it wouldn't have mattered. But this way, with the right sides together and then the lining side outward, when I put the bag on, or put the strap on and then fold it over on the 2 rings, then you only see the quilted spot, so it kind of goes over the side that shows the lining side. So I'm glad I did it that way. And I want to say this new technique of like what I'm doing right here, adding a whole bunch of like curves into it, or making a bag, or adding a wall, I guess, adding corners to a project. This is new to me, or this was a new technique, and I'm glad I learned this kind of technique because it also helped me with the bucket bag, or me understanding how to do the bucket bag, or bucket hat, not bag. And I'm glad I did this too. But as you can see, I'm not trying to pin the lining or the batting and quilted side any other way. I'm just doing it like this. I trimmed it off, but I need to remind myself to just do darts, add slits into this. But I did it anyway after I did or trimmed off the excess. But then I didn't have any more bias tape, or I didn't know if like bias tape would be the same with this. So I ended up just making my own like strip. And I'm going to sew this alongside like that. I had to add a little bit of length to it too, but I added it on the side and I folded it over. Okay, so this is me folding it over, and it covers all of that raw edge from the rest of the bag, so that later on you don't have cotton, filling up the bag, or any loose ends filling up the bag, or you don't have keys getting caught up on it. This is also what I got from the tutorial down below in the description. She does this in the bag, and I like this. It makes it so much cleaner, and it really, again, it was not that hard. It's a new technique. It makes the bag look so much better. Yes, it's a little oblong shape. I need to work on, creating like a nice shape, but that can be my goal for the next bag that I make, because I'm going to make a different bag. This bag I just wanted to make and just get my foot in there. You have to start somewhere, and this was me starting here, and it's oblonged. It's not the best shape. Again, I missed some spots, or the machine missed some spots, so I had to go back in and hand stitch that, but I didn't show that. I did that off camera, but I think it's pretty good for my first belt bag. I think I might go back in and reposition the straps, because it is a little bit low on the bag, and I want to also like make it to where it fits on my body a little bit better. But again, I think I did pretty good for my first bag, never doing this, and just kind of free-handing it, no pattern, no nothing. I just did it by sight and just looked at it, made a shape, and went on with it. And again, I think because that one side had a corner to it, as you can tell, the right side of the bag, it tends to like poke out a little bit more. The rest of the bag looks fine, and I'm wondering if I just need to go back in and tighten up that curve or something. It's just that right side of the bag, it just pokes out a little bit more. But when I put it on, this is how I put it on. I put it through the rings, and I got this idea, or I didn't have any hardware, so I was just making do with what I had, I guess. And the strap was too long, so I ended up cutting the strap, and I added some snaps on to the straps, because I didn't want the strap to be flopping everywhere. And I didn't want to have to worry about if it came loose, because I was thinking about putting like another circle through the straps so that it would like put a band around the strap to keep it down. But I had some snaps, and I was like, why? I can just make some adjustable snaps on the side. So that's what I did. I got my snap pliers. I did that off camera, and I added those to that so that that strap could stay down. And I also had to add more bias tape to the end so that the raw edges weren't showing. And I was like, maybe I should tuck it in, or again, create like a loop that goes around that strap to keep it down. And this was me thinking I was done because I put the snap right there, but then I added another snap to make it tighter, just in case I wanted it looser or tighter in some scenarios. But there's me showing that. But I'm going to show y'all the final look. Doesn't it feel so good to hold something you've poured your heart into and hands into? I just love how this quilted bag has turned out, and I hope you're absolutely thrilled with yours too. If yours looks better than mine, please tag me in a photo. Carrying this little piece of spring with you, knowing it's unique and made with love, is such a special feeling, isn't it? And remembering that wonderful connection to the past with my grandmother's fabric, it just makes it all the more meaningful. Thank you so much for joining me on this calm and creative journey today. I truly enjoyed sharing this process with you. If you loved making this bag, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on our next adventure, and that bucket hat for my daughter. Hopefully the right size this time. In the meantime, I absolutely love to see your finished bags. Please feel free to share them with me. It always brings a smile to my face to see what you create. Wishing you all joys of spring and happy creating. Until we meet again, take care and happy sewing.